Hello Chipsters, it's Gav and welcome to another one of my videos. Today we've got a thank you and, I've wrote them down this time, 1, 2, 3, 4 shout outs. A couple of the guys, I'm not sure if I've shouted them out before. A couple of the marras are old time Tubesters. I've just been watching one of the guys' videos and I was about to watch the other guys' videos and I was looking at the sub count and I'm thinking these guys, you know, they like the other two guys that I haven't shouted out yet. It's the vagaries of YouTube. You can slog your guts out. These are really just down to earth, decent fellas, no egos. All 4 of them, or 5 of them, because there's a thank you as well. I'll do first. And yet they can't move that sub ball forward. You know what I mean? I mean, people could say, well, Gav, you've got a couple of thousand subs. Well, you know, I've been on here for like 10 years or more, probably longer than that. So I literally crawl through treacle. And it's not so much that people want to make money out of it, I don't think. It's not so much that people even just want rounds of applause. It's just you make the videos and you hope that people watch them. You know, or fair enough with me. I make a lot. I know that, and I said to you guys, I don't expect people, whether you know your fellow channel marras or my marras in the wider YouTube community. I don't expect you to watch all my vids and all the way through, because they're like most times half an hour plus long, and I chuck 2 or 3 up a week. It's good company for me. I just enjoy doing them. And so, but what I'm trying to say is, you know, all these guys, they do some lovely work. They're really nice people, and you know, it all gets me down a bit when I see people that don't, in my opinion, have the sub counts that they should warrant, really. Not so much deserve, but just warrant. You know, they do great work, and they've been supportive of me, yeah. So start off with a thank you. Gav, did you have to put the tripod right over the couple of bits I wanted to show you? Right, I've got a marra out there. Yes, there is at least one person that admits to being a marra, Gav. Fair enough. I had to put his feet to the fire for him to say it. But that's Paul over at the Plastic Monkey channel, and I'm not sure if it was the. Get this quickly. I'm painting this 40mm French voltigeur for the Peninsular War, Napoleonics to you non-Napoleonics buff, Spain, Portugal, and I'm not sure if that's the one he got in contact with me. Anyway, sent me a message on the Facebook, and he said, Gav, I've got showed a picture of this horse, and there were 2 choices of riders with it. It's a French Lancer, line Lancer, and I'll probably do him in the trumpeter version. But Paul sent me that. I said, oh great, you know, because I don't need a huge bunch of figures, you know, something like that. I'll get enjoyment of painting that and putting it on the channel, you know, and I really appreciated it. Again, he took his time out of his day. He thought, Gav will enjoy this, I'm not going to use it, and and it's not the first time he's done stuff for me. So thank you, Paul. Thank you very much. Wouldn't even take any postage for it. I thought that was really decent of him. So Paul's channel link in the description. One moment. One sneeze later. Probably not the last. It's that time of year. Link will be to Paul's channel. That's Plastic Monkey. He does head problems. He does scale modelling, funnily enough. Thank you, Gav. He's been doing a fair bit of aircraft recently, but you know, he can turn his hand to anything. He's doing one of them clipped together ships at the moment from Meng. But you know, he does ships. Well, I like my ships, as you know, but he does everything really. I haven't seen him do too much armour. He has done, but not a load. But he seems to be on aircraft a lot at the moment, and his ships. Anyway, and does a fair bit of auto. Go and check Paul out. So thank you very much, Paul. I really appreciate that. When I've got time to get onto it, I shall be onto it. You can get, if you don't do the 1812 Bardeen uniforms, you can get some nice trumpeter, different colours for the trumpeter, which is hence why I want to do the trumpeter. Right, now to the channel shout-outs, as in not just thank you. First one, now there's no particular order to these 4 guys. I did ask each individual one who would like to go first, and they all was like waiting for a firing squad, and they all shuffled behind and pushed. It was Scott to the front. So this is the S-More channel, and his name is Scott, and he does wargaming figures. He's a wargamer, and he paints figures like this one, and other ones. So if you like your painted figures, he does AWI, American War of Independence, American Revolution. I tend to call it the Revolutionary War these days. It was a revolution. Let it go, Gav. Let it go. My regiment was over there. Didn't always go well. Anyway, let it go. 1 second. Right, Yorktown. Right, hang on, let it go. Vietnam, he also does Vietnam. And 50mm World War II. I believe he's doing the Germans at the moment. He's a really steady, pleasant fella to listen to. Enthusiastic. He likes his military history. And as I said to you guys, because I cross the floor in the sense of parliamentarian question, that is, as in House of Commons, of crossing the floor, oh well, whatever. Anyway, because I like my wargaming figures, my display figures, and my scale modelling, I've got, you know, I follow different people. They don't always follow back. What can you do? But Scott does, and you know, he's you can tell he enjoys his subjects. And what I'm trying to say is, please, if you're into scale modelling and you think, well, I don't paint wargame figures and I don't wargame, you don't have to, because he's as much valued member of the community as you are, and each sub helps. You don't, you know, if you don't really into it, you know, I dig that, but give him a sub, give him a help up over that wall on the assault course. You know, as I say, it's not a lot to ask. So yeah, so go and check out Scott at the S-More channel. Now, number 2, and that's Phil from Horton's Hot Rod Shop. I don't believe I've given Phil a shout out before, because I haven't been subbed to him that long. I can't remember. If I have the next 2 guys, I shout out every other Wednesday. Not exactly true, but more or less. So Phil, as you can understand, likes hot rods, and probably other cars as well. I was going to start mentioning some, but my brain won't work. Damn your brain. So, I know what I'm looking about. Phil, the station wagons, I said I liked. I know them. No, they're not coming. Never mind. But he does. If you give Phil half a dozen sheets of styrene, some styrene rod, some styrene bar, some styrene I-beam maybe, I don't know, some dressmaking pins. He does a very, very nice line of wedding dresses, I believe. Anything, he will come up with, as he did the other week, a pool table show rod. Brilliant. He can do anything. A really down-to-earth bloke. And again, somebody who I would love to see over that 1,000 barrier. All these guys, you know, well, I think obviously Paulies, but all these guys, they put the effort in, and they're not asking anything from you. You know what I mean? It's just you want to feel like people are watching what you do. Because if these guys weren't around doing what they do, you'd have nothing to watch, and you'd have to go to a lousy television set. You know? Do you really want to watch The Mandalorian again for the 55th time when you could be watching Phil make a hot rod? So please go and check out Phil all right, I've never seen The Mandalorian. I believe it's very good because I'm a Star Wars buff, but that's money, and we don't have the you know, the all that stuff. Pay for this and that and the other, and I'm always at my desk, so it'd be wasted on me. But I do read Star Wars books when I can get them off eBay for 50 pence and 70 pence a piece. Yes, they're 1985 ones and 1990, but beggars can't be choosers. Right, so please go and check out Phil. Really nice fella, and he does deserve a heck of a lot more subs than he gets. Now the other two, the old lags, that's a British word for prisoners, not that they've ever been inside. I'm not suggesting that for a minute. Right, but these two old lags, these two old, I don't know, they're old-ish. First one, Mike Hintz, from Mike's Miniature Motors. Now, I know, obviously, a load of the car bodies out there, a lot of car marras, you know Phil, you know Phil, but you know Mike. These three guys here, you'll know. But I have people, as I say, that visit my channel from, sometimes, like I say, tumbleweeds, they just roll on through and out the other side, never to be seen again. But I hope that when people see these videos, they might just go along and chuck Mike a like, and even better, a sub. Mike, again, is another automotive builder, although he's building is it Typhoon or a Tempest, Mike? I can't remember now. One of the old Airfix ones. But again, he has that knack, you know, he's been building them for years. He can work his way out of situations when things go wrong, and they often do for Mike. He seems to, don't get me wrong, I mean, laying decals over a car, like one of these whole, what do they call it now? Body, but you know, like the track cars and stuff with 10,000 decals on. Occasionally one will throw up a curveball to him, but he always works his way around it. Absolutely fantastic. And he's such a supportive bloke as well. So again, I looked on his sub count, and because I just watched his and commented on his video. Every comment helps. And I thought, you know, again, Mike's trudging through the wastelands trying to get to that 1,000. How about let's, you know, get behind him and push him over that 1,000 barrier. You know, as I say, these guys, they're not here to I don't know. They're not. You know, I'm talking for them. They're not expecting to be YouTube celebrities. Influencers was the word I was after. You know what I mean? They're not trying to build a career around their YouTube videos. They're just down to earth fellas with their hobby. And this, for so many of us that aren't in clubs, don't go shows, you know, all that stuff. It's just a way of showing our hobby to the world, really. So I'd really like, you know, more recognition for these guys. Now, I just switched on this guy, and I thought, no, I'll do this video while I've still got some light. My old marrow from Kentucky, and it has to be the one and only Doug Hensley. Yeah, go Doug, go Doug, go Doug, go. Yeah, he's a. I like Doug, not in that way. He's just brilliant. I do like Doug. I say that before. Yeah, again, Doug's somebody else. He's such a caring bloke. He'd give you the shirt off his back, and he's only got two. You know what I mean? You know, just really down to earth bloke who just enjoys showing his hobby and being part. Again, because a lot of us, we're all in these rooms, you know, you don't see a lot of people, you don't speak to a lot of people, and this is a way of speaking to people, you know, just getting on. And I look at Doug's sub count, and I think it's not fair, you know, it just ain't fair. You know, the fella don't do anything to anybody. He does occasionally gob off, as we say over here. He's all well intentioned. And it's never directed at you, the YouTuber. Not very often. It's more directed to the businesses and companies out there that sometimes give us such shoddy service. But he'll also shout up those guys that give him some really good service. He sends kits out, and like I've got figures. He just sends it. It costs him a fortune to send him from Kentucky to the UK and other parts of the world, but he does it out of the goodness of his heart, because he's just that type of bloke. So again, I was just about to watch his latest video, and I looked at his sub count, and I thought, that ain't on, that ain't fair. I know I can't influence YouTube influencer. We can dream on, can't we? Wake up, Gav. You know, I know I can't get a lot of the guys that watch my channel regularly, as in the guys that are making content, as YouTube like to call us, content creators, I believe they call us. You know, we most of us in my circle, we all know each other. So me shouting these, at least Mike and Doug out, and well, to be fair, probably Phil as well. Probably not a lot of you would know that. My name is Michael Cat. What am I on today, Gav? Nothing, by the way. And they call him Sean then. Scott, most of you guys won't know, but just have a heart and give another YouTuber who's trudging through the wastelands a bump up, please. It's not an instruction, just a request. So if there's anybody out there that has managed to get to the end of this video and isn't already going to seek psychological advice, would you please give all of these fellas a sub, if you haven't done so already, because, as I say, it gets a bit blasé. No, I can't spell that word either. I do believe it may originate in France, but people get a bit blasé. You know, they won't give you a thumbs up, they'll give you a finger up. Is it a centre one? Something like that, yeah. I won't do it, YouTube get annoyed. But you know, they get worked up, well, not worked up, I think you're sidetracking there. They get blasé, they watch a bit of a video for a couple of minutes, move on to the next one, you know. But it might only be somebody's video that you see 2 minutes of, but if that's 2 minutes, you might say, oh, it's 2 minutes out of my life, I can't get back. Yeah, I get that a lot. But then 2 minutes, it's somebody's put that video up, and you wouldn't have had to do 2 minutes of, if you enjoyed it or if you didn't, you know, before you move on to the next one. I just think it don't hurt to chuck a like on somebody's thing, and if you are tempted to go back to that channel, I know most of you aren't on mine, I understand that, but if you are tempted to go back to these guys, you know, give them a sub, press the little bell, ding a ding a ding. If you don't, you know, if you're not into painted war games figures, last two of my Prussians for that unit, I get it. Well, you know, obviously then just, if you could just sub Scott, you don't have to, you know, press a bell icon, but, you know, just, it's still interesting to see what other people are doing. You know, I've got just as much, I'm still building my hot rod, by the way. I've got just as much enjoyment watching all these car builders, because most of these are, I mean, Doug does do other stuff, military and stuff as well, but I get as much enjoyment watching their stuff as I would watching Scott explain his latest, you know, units or Vietnam figures and stuff like that. So, ooh, breathe, Gav. We are at the end of this video, so let us recap. Paul from Plastic Monkey, thank you very much, Mara, and there will be a link to your channel in the description. You'll probably lose subs rather than gain them, but hey, I did my best for you. We've got Scott from S More channel. We've got Phil from Horton's Hot Rod Shop. We've got Mike from Mike's Miniature Motors. Try saying that after you've been down the Dog and Duck and had a few. And Doug Hensley from Hensley's Hobbies. Thank you very much for stocking and even sticking to the end of this video if you have done so. Occasionally I like to stick these ones up. Sometimes they're people I've not shouted out before. Other times they're old lags, old timers like the last couple of lads. So thank you very much for stopping by and taking a look. I'm all over the place again now. That was it. Nashorn, going great guns. We could actually finish a model. Yes, it's tiny and it's fairly simplified, but it still counts as a model, and I've almost finished it. The sculpting of the figures, not so much. I've made lots of armatures because I need them. Armatures are like the little metal bits that you stick the putty to make your little figure. I'll tell you what, I've had to make a lot of little melt, and then over there, full of little puttified monsters that should be 15mm World War II German tank crew. But we will not be defeated. And Steve Jones, yes, you've got me a great idea. How about making my fellow tubesters, once I can do a basic. You might have to be chibis, great big heads and little bodies. I don't know yet. It's a thought. Well, we'll go down that road another day. Look after yourselves. Take care. So we've got an update on the Hornies stroke Nashorn coming up. Maybe not tomorrow, could be the weekend. I've got an unboxing of some metal soldiers to do. They're alright. I'll need to do them because I bought them very cheaply and I need to make money on them to, hopefully get some profit out of them. So they will get painted. There'll be other stuff. So look after yourselves, take care, and we'll catch each other soon on yet one of Gav's many videos.